I gotta.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Sass in the City. It's your girl, Kenya Yvette. And y'all know y'all see this pretty in pink, honey. Hey. Thank you for joining us. Listen, you know where to find us. Sass in the City 8 on Instagram. Also, too, if you're catching our YouTube channel, we appreciate you. We also appreciate your comments. Come on and drop a comment. If there's something you want to know, something you need to know, some questions you need to ask, feel free. My girls are still on vacation. I'm holding it down, though. Like I said, I'm holding it down now. And I brought one of my girlfriends here to kick it with me, which is Telethia. And she actually is a beauty, and she decided to pop this pink with me. Come on now.
Hi.
This is Telethia Hand. Thank you, baby, for coming. What's going on?
Course.
I call her T, so this is what we're doing. How you doing, T?
I'm wonderful, Kay.
Feeling okay?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
You know? That's what friends do.
Oh, we show up.
I'm just going to keep it 100. We went out last night. We were actually at one of the wineries.
It was nice.
In Temecula, and on our drive home, we got to talking something serious, y'all.
Yes.
And I brought her on the show because I really wanted to discuss this from what we were talking about last night, that both sexes are dealing with, male and female, and that's about domestic violence.
Right.
Serious game, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And T offered to come on the show, which I'm appreciative of, just to kind of enlighten us, share with us, and kind of share with the world, even if it's helpful, even if anybody's out there experiencing it, just kind of what her roadmap was in terms of dealing with domestic violence. So thank you, baby, for even opening your world to me and on this platform to discuss it. So we're going to dive right into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, now. So let me know this, like in terms of your first experience, in a domestic violence relationship. Was this at a young age? I mean, were you?
It was at a younger age. I was young, coming up, just trying to find my way as well. Mm-hmm. And he was older than me, but he was still young himself, under 30s. So,
Okay.
Yeah. And with that one, it was more so of his personality was just a controlling personality, the narcissistic personality.
They say that.
Not so that he experienced stuff like that in his childhood to where it made him, it followed through with him. But no, it was more so of, just a control issue.
Now, I know this because, in the domestic violence, world, there's a lot of manipulation where there's actual verbal abuse.
It is.
Mental abuse, as well as the physical abuse. You know what I'm saying? So in your case, was this all of them, or were you dealing with?
It was both. And anyone who deals with domestic violence situations, they'll tell you the mental, the verbal, that hurts more than the physical.
Girl, you listen. Let me tell you, I get it because it's a mind. What they call it, I won't use the French, but it's it's a mind trip. If you really care about somebody, and then he's gonna say something negative about you, and if you really are kind of soft-minded or you value their opinion, then it can make you kind of look at yourself like, well, dang, maybe I am getting a little thick, or maybe I didn't make a good decision, but
it makes you think. It makes you question yourself.
If you kind of grow up in that mindset of you being, soft or easily manipulated. So, like, what was his hangups in terms of with you? Like, when did you start seeing a different guy? Because I know he didn't catch you.
So no, it didn't start off that way.
Right.
It was once we moved in together. That's when he started. Like, for instance, my oldest. She liked being with my grandmother and my mother. Okay. So she stayed over there a lot. But once me and him moved in together, when I would go visit her, the control started at that point.
He didn't want you to go see your baby?
as he says, he allowed me, but he would call when he felt like my time was up. So it
like,
started
okay,
as
well, your
that.
visit for mama and the daughter is up, so you need to bring your butt home.
Right, like, come on. You've
And
been
then
there
when you're
long
trying to
enough.
tell him, hey,
Yeah.
baby, I'm
So
kind of,
that's when I first started noticing, like, this isn't going right. Like,
it's not
okay,
normal.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not normal at
So
all.
what happened if you were ever late or if you did what he didn't want you to do? Is that when it would start happening?
So he would fuss, but then the physical came. The first physical came when one night we were at our place and we were watching TV, and I dozed off, and then he woke me up, and then um, I didn't answer him correctly, so he got a belt and whipped me like I was a little kid, and that's when that first happened.
Girl, now I know
Yes.
you chickling and laughing, but I know sometimes I know my girlfriend, she does it when she basically is trying
I
to just
do.
hold back. Because we know this is not really a laughing matter, but I know if you're
Yeah.
looking at it now that you're out of it, thank God,
Thank
looking
God.
back, it is
Yeah.
better just to be able to know that you came out of it with a
Right.
smile. You know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
to spank you
Like
is
a kid,
crazy to
yes.
where he really was taking that initiative to be that angry because what you didn't respond like he
Quanti-
wanted you to.
Right, that was it.
And
So
what
the,
did he do? Send you to bed? What?
so
No.
that was the beginning. So then so I had to sit there and continue to watch the show that
Oh
we were
wow.
watching.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So were you scared at that moment, looking at this man like
absolutely,
he's
because
just a
I had
monster?
never experienced anything like that.
So when was the next time after that, or
so
how
the
long was it
so
after
the
that?
next time after that, so it wasn't like a continuous thing. So the next time after that was when I would catch him cheating in a relationship. So when I would approach him,
About that?
it
Yeah.
would be a response of his defense was being physical.
Oh what?
hmm Yeah, his response was being physical.
Ooh.
And then it's like, shut up, you can't ask me this, you can ask me that, or, why are you asking me or accusing me of this when the evidence is right there?
Mm-hmm.
So,
So that now makes you feel like you can't ask questions.
right, I don't
So
have a
now you're no
voice.
longer able to speak out,
Yeah,
which robs you from your voice.
absolutely.
And then now the control changes where he does what he wants to do. And if not, you know that there's like violence that follows if you choose to push the envelope.
Right, that was it.
How
Yeah.
long did you tolerate this in the
So
relationship?
honestly, once that started happening, it was like a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Of the abuse? Okay.
Of that.
Okay.
So during that time, that's when I started plotting. to
Honestly,
make my
and then let me
leave.
tell you, that's what they call it. Literally.
Plotting.
Plotting it to
Yes.
to freedom.
Yes, absolutely.
Jesus.
So of course, as you know, I'm originally from Mississippi, so that was during that time while I was there.
Yeah.
So that's what, and I claim Atlanta, so
Yes.
that's what got me to Atlanta. Honestly, I was plotting, and I'm like, okay, I can't do this any longer. I have my kids. My daughter doesn't even want to come home and be in the same household as me and her little brothers.
Because of the fact that he
of that
scares her
situation. Yes, he scared
and he
her.
sees him fighting you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Smart kid.
Mm-hmm.
And also, too, in that relationship with him,
Mm-hmm.
what made you stay at the time from the first contact, like the first experience of him abusing you? What were you feeling like at that time? Like what was that? Like was it I can't because then it'll get worse, or was it what were you thinking?
Just scared. And then, he would use against me, like, even though me and my dad, we have a good relationship, but
Yeah.
during that time, his current situation with his wife, she was, jealous of me and my sister, and she would try to pull him away from us.
Oh, your daddy's girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he would use the situation with my dad against me, saying, well, you don't have any, like...
You don't have anybody?
Yes.
Wow.
So-
Such a manipulator. But see, they do those tricks.
They do.
And I hear that they do those, and I don't even want to air out my girl because she did already speak of this. Mary J. Blige spoke about this when she was
Right.
married to Mr. Man. And it was
Right.
just really puzzling for me to see Mary go through this with her dude when Mary is married.
Right, exactly.
And that dude was telling her, "Don't nobody love you. You ain't
they
crap,
don't
and
care.
don't nobody care about you." And she was believing what he was saying, but that was Mary.
Girl.
Like everybody, I've been loving Mary, honey, since 1990 when her little butt
Seriously.
dropped. And when she
Yes.
dropped, are you
Yes.
kidding me?
Yes.
Like, and I couldn't believe that she even, as a star,
will go through something like
would
that.
allow somebody new in her life. Because I don't think he could add up in her, not saying money is everything, but in terms of her legacy. I don't think he could add up, not saying anything bad about the gentleman, but I do believe the brother was from L.A., producer known locally, and Mary's worldwide.
Right.
So I don't know where her esteem is, and I do know that that has a lot to do with it. So would
Yeah.
you agree that that might have been at your low of your esteem?
I do agree. So with my family background on my mom's side, like honestly, like everything was like in line. But it was that part that kind of threw me off and had me in a point of questioning myself. Like, okay, if my father isn't here, like, or if he's, letting another woman dictate his relationship. Because I'm a daddy's girl.
Me too.
So my daddy knows, like, we're there. But when he got remarried after, my mom, she was a different piece of pie. I'll say that.
Okay. So did you feel like the lack of confidence?
Yeah, so it came from that. So it's like, oh, if my daddy can, like,
dismiss us,
yeah,
then you felt the lack of love from daddy. So daddy now lingering on to men.
Yeah.
So you didn't feel like men really loved you, but you tried to stay in it because you wanted to prove to them different.
Right. And then from me, coming from my strong background of women, from my mom's side, it's like, okay, you know what? No. So that's when I started, plotting, making my move. And I'm like, no, I don't have to go through this.
No, you don't, beautiful. And not only that, when you were going through it, did you ever seek help? Where girlfriends, sisters?
My family, yes.
Did they know about his abuse?
Absolutely. So me and my family are very close on my mom's side. Me and my sisters, my mom, my grandmother, my auntie, like, we are.
So they all knew about him and he was existing in the streets?
Yes,
he could walk
and
the
so
streets?
they were, and they, like, when I tell you, they were heavily involved.
Well, did they ever beat him up? I mean, did they ever catch him in the corner
not
slipping?
that, because my family wasn't that type to, like, do that.
So were they
were just trying to pull me out of it. And when they did pull me out, I let them sucker me back in.
So they did get you out.
Yes, I did get out.
And then Mr. Man,
before I moved to,
I believe that. And then so there's been some attempts prior to making
and even my auntie from my daddy's side, I told her about it. And she came to beat us behind.
I mean, that's a normal reaction.
All right.
Trust.
Me and him just had a kid. And I'm like, I didn't want to statistic. But then it kind of was because,
Right. And how are you masking the marks and things like that? Were any of those things kind of troubling, having to go to work, putting extra makeup on, or kind of hiding your scars? How was that?
So at that time, I was actually the store manager of a T-Mobile store. Mm-hmm. And I had, on this side of my face, like all of this area was black.
Help us, Father.
And it just so happened, the regional manager came down that day. And he looked at me and he said, like, he shook his head. He was a little older. I was in my early 20s. Mm-hmm. He was in his early 30s, and he looked at me. He said, "Telethia, wow. I see this." I couldn't do anything but look down. Like, it was
horrifying.
It was. And the thing is, before that, him, the regional manager, and the employees that were up under me, they knew that this guy would stake out and hide and watch me at work and hide out, and like, it was crazy.
Right.
It was crazy.
But
Kenya.
I think a little fearful too, and I would never judge a person experiencing any of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's, what do you do? Who do you tell? And then, are you really free when you do leave? Because I know a lot of times when you do leave, next thing you know, you're trying to have a new life without him. And next thing you know, he's popping up
Right.
trying to still make you be with him. So how was your escape so successful? Did he follow you to Atlanta or no?
Exactly. So my
He did?
escape, girl. So my escape. So I got the U-Haul, packed up our place, packed up my stuff, mine and my kids' stuff.
Right.
And so it was me and my boys. My boys were 2 and 4.
Oh, babies.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. And they don't know what's happening. They ain't big enough to put them in a headlock. They just looking at you helpless.
Right. And then, with them looking at my baby looking at him as daddy. Well, daddy.
Absolutely.
So he's like confused. So that's when I was like, okay, you know what? Well, let's go together. I was like, you drive the U-Haul, I'll drive the car. Just get the car back to working so I can drive it.
So now you got him thinking that he's going back to...
Yes, he's going to Atlanta with me.
So he's willing to go? He's willing to drop everything and go?
Absolutely.
So now was you guys, but now it's y'all as a fam.
Yeah.
So now he's
I had
under the
to play
impression
that part. Yeah.
So now he's driving you up there.
Mm-hmm.
You had a place already ready?
No, my daddy's house. So then my daddy got
now was he
me an
welcome at
apartment.
your father's house?
Oh, absolutely not. So that's another story, girl.
I was gonna say because
that's another story. Oh, that's another story. Yes,
yeah.
but no, he wasn't, and so we got there. So then, of course, me and my boys go to my daddy's house, and then so of course I had my dad at that point to
protect you guys.
Yeah.
So once your daddy was there, it kind of drew the line, and he kind of left you alone.
Right. So that veered off, and then he went back on doing his way
to Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
he
good.
went back. Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus, for your father. Yeah. My Lord.
Absolutely.
I mean, what would you say to these individuals that are dealing with this case of domestic violence in terms of what you would do different?
Girl, the first time leave. Don't stay. Don't feel that you can change them. Don't feel that things can change. The situation can change.
Right.
Hurt people, mm-hmm. And they're gonna hurt people until they're healed or not healed, and
yes,
it's gonna go on.
Yeah.
You got to think about yourself. Think about if you have kids. Think about your kids.
Yes.
Think about yourself.
Right.
Number one.
Correct. I mean, I also believe trait signs in the beginning are the best times to me, because I don't know how invested emotionally you are. Because, I mean, I do remember when I was in college, my first semester, I'm out of state. I'm actually in Mississippi. And I'm going to school, and this gentleman, it was handsome and all that good stuff, and wanted us to party with him. Mm-hmm. Me and my girlfriend that I was out there going to school, and she wanted us to do something else. And I believe that we were leaving the venue. And I told him, listen, I can't go. You know what I'm saying? We're going over here, so I'm going with her. I'm not going to go with you. I don't know you like that, right? I remember walking away, and I thought what I said was enough. I can't go. Walked away from Mr. Man, girl. Next thing I know, he done snatched me back.
Wow.
That's the first time I've ever got shaken up by any guy.
Right. They don't understand the word no.
Girl, you ain't going nowhere. I told you. But see, for me, because it was my first time, and I guess me being a hothead, because, I fight. I'll fight.
Hey, okay.
Me and my brother used to fight.
Oh.
Not a lot, but, we fight, So my first instinct was, boy, like, I was ready to go. Like, I pushed him off of me, like, what's wrong with you?
Yes.
Like, you don't touch me.
Right.
And I was so into a shock, because I've never been touched like that before, that I told him, don't you ever touch me again. Get up off of me. And then he was trying to get in my face. I literally, like, 2 people that pulled me, like, you cannot fight a boy. Like, you can't.
Like, yes,
but
I
at
can.
the time, I was so caught up in the...
Right.
I mean, he literally could have dislocated my arm. The way he pulled me was like, you ain't going nowhere. Like, boop, 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 boop. And I'm looking at him like... You done lost it.
Right.
Like, I'm about to get into you, my little self, and he's 6'4". I just lost it. But it made me realize, oh, this boy puts hands on you.
Right.
Because that was quick. I just met him, and he just felt he could do that. Done with him. I was done with him. I did not speak to him ever again. Now, I
Girl.
ended up going back home to California.
Where were you?
Mississippi, girl. I told you.
hold on.
Nah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I didn't like it. No shade.
Girl.
No shade. This is way back in the 90s, but I didn't like it. Anywho, at the time, I knew I wasn't happy, cried back, coming back to Cali, mommy, moved to San Diego to finish school. Went to San Diego. My girlfriend stayed. Ended up going to Jackson State, graduate.
Oh, yes.
She ended up getting with him the next semester.
Wait a minute, the
Same
same
dude.
guy? Did she know?
She knew she knew what it was. She
So
knew what it
why?
was in terms of how aggressive he was with me. But then again, she said he's really cool and he has this and he was that because personality is charming and handsome. True enough, but none of that matters.
Right.
That flatlines to me when you put your hand on me.
Absolutely.
She ended up getting with him second semester, and baby, she went through situations. That boy was serious. He was violent.
I'm telling you.
He was definitely violent. He hurt her in many, many ways
Hurt
physically.
people hurt people.
And I told
Okay.
her, don't you remember that boy acting a fool
Yes.
with me?
And what could she say?
Totally. Just told. I didn't, I guess, it didn't register. But she's good.
Good.
She realized it.
That's good.
But I saw the signs. So what I'm saying is sometimes when you're in a relationship where your feelings haven't developed as strong, but you see those signs of them being a little quick with it, that's a sign to get out.
It is.
And I did. I was not
that's
impressed.
Good that you were strong.
That
for
boy
that.
pulled me like that. I was like, this boy pulling me like you literally know me like that. You do not. Yeah. And that's where it starts. Because if you're pulling, next thing you know, you're going to be pushing down. Then you're going to be slapping. Then you're going to be choking.
Right.
Then you're going to be
Right.
socking. You know what I mean?
That's
So it progresses.
It starts there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe first signs, first indications are important. Don't be oblivious to the red flags.
Don't.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And also to know their history. Because
Right.
like you said, hurt people. They have a story too.
They do.
So if they grew up with violence, domestic violence in their household, that's like the dating questions.
It
Like,
is.
how was it growing up with your
It
mama and your
is.
daddy? And even if they don't want to tell you, you can see it on their face. Where it's like, man, I don't
pick
mess with
up
my
on
daddy
energy.
too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why?
Right. Okay.
What up with Pops?
Exactly.
What happened? And they may not go into
Exactly.
detail, but those things I think are very important. Even had there ever been a time where you and him had a conversation about his problem and for him to get help? Was there ever that?
After that, yes. Even to this day, because I will say we have a cordial relationship, a family sense. Honestly,
Really?
Yes.
Did he ever touch the kids?
no.
Did he ever touch your babies?
No, thank God. One thing I will say, he's a great father. He's a great
Interesting.
father, even to my two kids that's not his. So,
Okay.
and to this day, he tells me, I want our family back. I'm like, our kids are grown. Like, what are you talking about? And, it's like, I still even have a great relationship with his kids outside of,
Right.
you know what I mean? But he's like, I get it now.
Now, did he have that because he grew up around it? Like,
I
what
don't
was
know.
his
He
problem?
never. He's a Taurus, so I don't know if Taurus.
Yeah, listen.
They're just
Li-
control.
now
Like,
listen, all
seriously,
Taurus, all Taurus
I'm
men. This
sorry.
is not against y'all. No shade.
But just
But they
from
can
what
be
my
temperamental. They do have bad,
experience.
sometimes.
So, and then I
She
will
said it was
say,
a
just
Taurus.
like
Lord
with
help
my
us.
ex-husband, and Lord rest his soul, like his little ways of trying to be controlling with me, but
He can't do much over the telephone.
oh,
Thank God.
at all.
Yeah,
At all.
He's where he is in that
Yeah.
state, wherever that is.
And he tries, and that's the one that I had to get away from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I was asking. That gentleman, was his parents, were they amongst
Not
domestic
that I
violence?
know of, because I know his father passed away when he was 17.
Oh, so he didn't have his daddy after he was a
Yeah.
teenager. Okay.
So if anything happened to that sense, I don't know,
Yeah.
because he didn't tell me.
Or
But
what
I
that
don't
anger's coming
know.
from, and it
Yeah,
doesn't
I don't
matter.
know where that aggression and that control came from within him, because his brothers are not like that.
And he's the only one that is.
Yeah.
So he had issues growing up, controlling his emotions, not being able to act them out, and then it turned into violence. But
Right.
nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? Violence is violence. You
It
know what I'm saying?
is.
In the moment that you raise in your hand, you got to check yourself. You know what I'm saying? And then you
Exactly.
need to find out what it is that's triggering you, because you're hurting loved ones. You know what I'm saying? And that's not
Girl,
okay. You know, and
it's
it
not.
goes both ways,
It does.
baby. Because
It does.
women do the same thing.
Right. That's
And I
true.
must say, and I will say, that women have to be careful. Because my mother always told me, know when to pick your battles.
That
And
is
when you
so
are
true.
in a argument or altercation with your spouse, boyfriend, whoever,
Right.
and you know that you may not be getting into him and he getting puffy,
Right.
and maybe his nose is flexing or that damn
Right.
wrinkle in that forehead is
Yes.
flexing or that eye is jumping, then you got
Yes.
to look for them signs and say, okay, well, maybe we
Seriously.
could talk about this, baby, after dinner. What you want to eat? You know what I'm
Right.
trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
maybe we'll put a pin in this because I see you're upset.
Right.
And then let's circle back where we can hear each other and not
That's
hurt each
it.
other. Because women, which I notice, will go rah-rah, honey. And I've
Yeah.
seen women get in men's face where they point their finger poking at their head, or they'll nudge them in the head, or they get up under their face
Same.
and disrespect. And then what you're thinking, I'm still a woman, but you bucking up like a man.
Right.
To me,
So he's gonna come.
what?
Right.
You don't. That is more or less, you are actually provoking this man to do some harm to you.
Right,
And then when
exactly.
he hits you or he pushes you off of him, then it's like, I can't believe you did that to me and I'm a girl. But what
Right,
you have to
but-
realize is, don't provoke him, because that's
That's
also
it.
verbal abuse.
It is. It
It
works
goes both
ways,
ways, baby.
Girl.
Yeah,
Hey,
listen,
Kay, hold on.
listen.
It's seriously.
I
it
won't.
does.
I'm no punk now. I will
Right.
say this. My sister always tells me, you can't beat. You can't beat nobody. You know what I mean?
Right.
I do get reminded, because if anything,
Right.
I'll pick something up. And not saying I have to, but I'm gonna say this. I don't want to have any altercations. I don't want to have any fights.
Exactly.
But I do know if there comes a time where this man wants to flex and I've done nothing wrong,
Then
you have to defend yourself, because I can't let
Absolutely.
you beat me to a pulp. I will pick up
Absolutely.
something and not think twice. You know what I mean? But if
Absolutely.
I know me and him are having a conversation, but he's flexing on me, or he getting real
then
pissed
what
off,
do you
or his
expect
voice
me to do? Yeah.
is raising up, and now he's foaming at the mouth. You understand me?
Let's.
Hey, like I said, I'm in the kitchen.
Right.
What you want to eat? I
Hey,
ain't gonna
let's
do that.
eat.
Well, we're not
Hey,
doing this.
right
We're
here.
not doing
Mwah.
this. Are we eating out?
Right.
Or do you want me to cook?
Girl.
And it's going to be that easy. And if I'm
Seriously.
upset, then I will remove myself and tell him, I can't talk about this right now.
Right.
Let's visit this in the morning. Because
Absolutely.
Courtly, I still love you.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it gets to the point where you can't talk about it and now you want to go all in, there's a problem.
That's it.
Gotta go.
That's
You know what I
it.
mean? And I just
Yeah.
feel like anybody who suffers from any type of abuse, like I said, male
It
or
is.
female,
And it's not right.
it is
It's not.
help out there. There
It
are
is,
people
yes.
who care. There is a place for you to get healing. Also, the abuser,
Absolutely.
as well as the one receiving it, in terms of helplines. And I'm definitely going to list a few. If anybody going through that, I wish you the best. God is the source of all things. And T, is there anything else that you want to drop or close the show with, just as far as anybody who may be experiencing any domestic
Just
violence?
love yourself. Think about yourself first. Love yourself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those who love you. Know that they just want the best.
Absolutely. And then when family or friends are concerned, one thing, love does not hurt, and it's
It
not supposed
doesn't.
to.
It's not.
It really is not
It's
supposed to.
not.
So I just wanted to let you know, hey, thanks for joining this segment of the show. Again, this is Sass in the City. Like I said, we'll drop some hotline contact numbers for those who are experiencing anything or need to reach out, talk to somebody. There's life coaches as well as hotlines for help. And we will check you out next week on Sass in the City, baby. Peace.